But it is time now for our Week 1 picks. I will start for this Week 1, so let's begin. So my first pick, obviously, with the Lions, I picked them plus 6.5 at the time, or I guess it moved all the way to plus 4.5 when Travis Kelce went down. So that turned out to be right. The next one I got is the Falcons minus 3.5. So DJ Chark is now out. They already lost DJ Moore. So the next man up probably would have been DJ Chark. He's out for now. So I think the Falcons, with that run game, I understand that the Panthers defense is very underrated. And with Brian Burns on that defensive front, it's going to be difficult. However, the Falcons last season had a top 5 offensive line. They had the highest rated run blocking guard, Bijan Robinson in the backfield, Cordell Patterson in the backfield, Algier in the backfield. You have Drake London. You have Kyle Pitts. I mean, you have weapons there. This is going to be a run-heavy team, and I expect the Falcons to run all over the Panthers. And if they get a decent pass rush, we saw in the preseason the Jets storm that Panthers offensive line. It was basically a sieve. So I think the Falcons will come out here and win by 3.5. The next one's obvious. The Ravens at minus 9.5. That's an easy one. Lamar's upgraded at weapons. Offensive line improved on defense. I mean, the Texans, we don't know what they look like. C.J. Stroud did not look all that great in his preseason. However, he improved slightly. He still looks nervous coming out against the Ravens and that dynamic offense. The Texans also have a bunch of new weapons receivers-wise. They have brand new quarterback C.J. Stroud, brand new head coach. You have a lot of pieces that are new, and going up against the Ravens, who are very well run. I mean, John Harbaugh, now you have Todd Monken, a great offense coordinator back in college. You have Lamar Jackson, upgraded weapons, upgraded veteran weapons. You also have rookie Zay Flowers there. I think the Ravens are going to stomp on the Texans. Let's go with the next one, the shocker. Probably, I only have, 2 upsets, including the Lions. This is my only other upset, and that is indeed the Cleveland Browns beating out the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not going to dive straight into this because I'm going to do it for my Harvey Hot Hands. Spoiler alert. However, I really think Joe Burrow, he's coming back from an injury. I guarantee you he's not 100%. And I just think Myles Garrett, pass rush, it hasn't been all that great for Joe Burrow against the against the Browns, and especially in Week 1. The next one, Jaguars, Colts. Colts, brand new team, brand new head coach, brand new quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, they only have a few receivers on their depth chart. So if one of them gets dinged, you're going to be just decreasing the amount of receivers on your team because it's not looking too good. And besides, you don't have Jonathan Taylor. That is big. He's out for the first 4 weeks. We have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Doug Peterson on the Jaguars side. You add Calvin Ridley to Christian Kirk. Evan Ingram looked really, really good. And of course, you have the prince that was promised in Trevor Lawrence. I think this team is going to be really, really good. I have them winning and covering the -5 spread. The Bucs and Baker Mayfield going up against the Minnesota Vikings. This is strictly just because of Baker Mayfield's your quarterback. I do not trust Baker Mayfield. Your offensive line was terrible. You had no run game last season. Your pass defense has been terrible for a number of years, or at least very underwhelming. Your rushing defense, that was Todd Bowles' big, motivation and push when Brady was there. They had the first rush defense for a number of years. That actually took a big hit last season. So if you don't have, your claim to fame on defense, you have Baker Mayfield, a quarterback, going up against, Christian Darrisaw on the offensive line. Yes, you did get rid of Dalvin Cook. Alexander Madison's good enough, I guess. Kirk Cousins is efficient. You still have Justin Jefferson, the best receiver in football. And not only that, you have a brand new rookie receiver in Jordan Addison, who is going to be a very, very explosive receiver for you. I got the Vikings covering and winning that spread -5.5. The Saints are the number 1 easiest schedule, and you start off with an really big unknown question mark with Ryan Tannehill. You're bringing back Derrick Henry. The offensive line of the Titans is a big question mark. It's a work in progress. Although they do have D-Hop, outside of D-Hop, you don't really have that much. Treylon Burks is okay, not that great. Your defense is pretty good. I think it's underrated. However, I don't like it. I think the Saints right now, with the way they set up, Michael Thomas is back. You got Chris Olave back. Your offensive line is pretty good. I understand you don't have Alvin Kamara. He's suspended. I do think with that DV, you also lost a few defensive pieces. I just think the Saints are a better team than the Titans. I'll take the Saints to win and cover. The next one, a lot of people are picking the Steelers. I'm not. I believe in Brock Purdy, at least for now. What he has shown is when he's healthy, when he starts and finishes games, he's undefeated. People are saying he's better than Jimmy G. I thought last season he was actually slightly better than Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's an argument for a different day. The defense, they added pieces. Nick Bosa's back. You got Hargrave. I'm a little bit concerned about your cornerbacks, but I'm not that concerned. So this pass rush up against a questionable offensive line of the Steelers. Kenny Pickett, will he be Kenny Pick-em-off, as I called him last season? I'm not sure, but I hope so because I have the 49ers winning and covering a very, very close -2.5 spread. The next one, the Cardinals are the worst team in football, going up against the Commanders and Sam Howell. I'm surprised the spread is as big as it is, but I think, Vegas really believes in Sam Howell and then Terry McLaurin and Dotson as well. So I'm going to take the Commanders to win big here. Here's something that's interesting. We talked about this on the show before. Can the Packers keep their reign of dominance over the Chicago Bears? I'm saying, at least for week 1, no, they can't. I think Justin Fields will run the ball over a defense that I don't think is all that great. Also, you added DJ Moore. When you traded back that first-round pick, traded to the Panthers, you got DJ Moore in that trade. What we saw in the preseason is you could dink and dunk behind the line of scrimmage to DJ Moore, and he will light you up. He will, bob and weave through the defense. Not only that, Khalil Herbert also is a okay to pretty good running back I don't trust the offensive line all that much, but I think it'll be good enough for the Bears to just slip by the Packers and cover that 1-point spread. The next one, the Denver Broncos, the Raiders. I do not like the Raiders. Chandler Jones is dealing with the team versus Chandler Jones issue, blasting all over social media. He won't play in week 1. Although, yes, I understand they do have Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. I think Pat Surtain was the second best cornerback, at least graded-wise, last season. I think it'll be interesting, him versus Devontae Adams, how that power dynamic works, who will come out on top of that. But Jimmy G is the big question mark here. Can he stay healthy behind probably one of the worst offensive lines? And besides, not only that, Russell Wilson is going up against what used to be the 30th ranked secondary in the NFL. Will Russ cook? I'm saying yes, and they win and cover the minus 3.5 point spread. Here's an interesting one. Pick 5 versus pick 6, and I believe it was the 2020 NFL draft. I thought one of these quarterbacks, being Justin Herbert, I campaigned for the Miami Dolphins to draft Herbert over Tua strictly on the basis of the fact that Tua has an injury history, which we've seen since he entered the NFL. Now I think Herbert gets the best of the Dolphins by beating them and covering the minus 3-point spread with an upgrade at receiver. You still have Keenan Allen. You still have Mike Williams. Now you add Quentin Johnston to that wide receiver core. Khalil Mack is on that team. Joey Bosa is on that team. Derwin James is on that team. J.C. Jackson's back. You also have Asante Samuel Jr. I mean, on paper, the Chargers are a phenomenal team. And honestly, you could probably put them one-on-one with the Chiefs, and if they just perform as they, if you look at them on a piece of paper and they perform as they do, as they look on that piece of paper, the Chargers are going to be a force to reckon with in the NFL, and I think that starts in week 1 and covers that minus 3 points. But I know Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, upgraded defense. Jalen Ramsey's out for most of the season, but Bradley Chubb is still a good pass rusher. I think with Rashawn Slater coming back, the Chargers take over and cover that 3-point spread. Here's one that's interesting. The Eagles are only 4-point favorites against the Patriots. That is shocking to me. I don't understand it. The Eagles have a great defense. The Patriots have a crippled, injured offensive line. You have Calvin Anderson starting at right tackle because Riley Reif is on the IR. There was actually a moment where Sidney So could have been starting there. And if that was the case, I guarantee you I would have picked the Eagles minus, 10.5 if that were the case. Sidney So was basically like a non-lineman. He wasn't even existing, at least in the preseason. And that was against backups and third stringers. Now, Calvin Anderson, who didn't get much playing time or really any playing time, I think, in the preseason, he'll be going up against, some very, very tough rushers. You're also going up against Jalen Carter. The Eagles have the best offensive line. They have Devontae Smith. They have A.J. Brown. I mean, this team is good. I believe you also have DeAndre Swift as well. You also have, let's not forget, Jalen Hurts at quarterback. I don't like Jonathan Jones being your number 1 cornerback. You have Christian Gonzalez, who's a rookie. I think he'll get cooked a couple times by either Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown, depending on who he's covering. Probably it's going to be Devontae Smith. They also have Dallas Goedert, the tight end. I mean, the Eagles, there's not many places where you could, sort of throw a dart and say they're not great there. They also brought back Darius Slay, which is a big piece of their defense. So they also lost Hargrave, but I do not think that'll impact them, at least against the Patriots, as much as it would maybe down the road against better teams. I'll take the Eagles to win and cover -4. Rams Seahawks, originally, before Cooper Kupp got hurt, I had the Rams winning and covering in this game. Now, Cooper Kupp may get put on IR as soon as today or tomorrow, maybe even tomorrow, but he may get put on IR. I don't love this. I really, really don't like this. The Seahawks, they have 3 really good receivers now. They have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN. Their offensive line is being upgraded. They have 2 really good defensive backs, rookie Devin Witherspoon. They also have Tariq Woolen. Also, you brought back Bobby Wagner. Your defensive line is getting better and better each year. The Seahawks in recent drafts haven't really missed. I'll take the Seahawks to win and cover the -5 point spread. Cowboys, -3.5 against the Giants. I will take the Cowboys to win here. Daniel Jones has not been that great against the Cowboys. I believe, if I have the numbers right, he's 1-6 against the Cowboys in his career. He's also not that great in prime time at the 8:20 games. So I will take the Cowboys with their defensive front up against a good but rebuilding offensive line. There's a few question marks on that Giants offensive line, but they are improving. I just think that defensive front is going to be dangerous against a Giants offensive line. And let's not forget Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs, the two cornerbacks going up against who? Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. Jalen Hyatt may get a bit of energy. We also saw Darren Waller today. He's questionable with the hamstring injury. The normal Darren Waller strikes again with injuries. That was the big concern because Darren Waller had to be put on the sidelines during practice because Daniel Jones would just be throwing it to Darren Waller. So if he's going to be out or at least not be 100% in this game, we can see Daniel Jones go back to the Daniel Jones of before, where he was considered a bust, and probably the Giants should have moved off him. But we'll have to wait and see. I'll take the Cowboys to win and cover -3.5 point spread. And the big game, New York versus New York. Although the Giants are also a New York team, but technically the Giants and the Jets both play in New Jersey, regardless of the fact. The Buffalo Bills are going to win this game. I think the offensive line of the Jets is a huge question mark. Mekhi Becton, will he even be healthy enough to go in the second quarter or maybe even the second half? That's the big question mark. How healthy will Mekhi Becton be? Your center isn't all that great. Elijah Vera Tucker is probably your best offensive lineman. Dwayne Brown's 38 years old, going up against a pretty good pass rush from the Bills. I understand Von Miller's out. However, I think you brought back your two defensive backs, and Micah Hyde and Poyer. I really think the Bills are going to do some damage here, and I understand Stephon Diggs going up against Sauce Gardner is going to be an interesting situation, but I think the Bills will win and cover the -2.5 point spread. Those are my picks. We'll talk about the Harvey hot hand after this. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.